Academically, the preparation here, there's always an expectation that you're on your way to doing something even greater than what you're doing here. And so I always felt like they were teaching me for the next step. They were obviously trying to get all their bases covered and teach me what I needed to know in high school, but there was a very deliberate attempt to also set me up for a greater level of learning to come in college. And that always stayed with me, that whether it was a lay teacher or a Jesuit teacher, they were trying to teach me about the world. They weren't just trying to teach me facts.
You live life forwards and you learn it backwards. I mean, nobody's immune, and everybody does it that way. Whether they know it or not, that's how it works. And I've learned so much more since attending McQuaid and going through college and recognizing my limitations and where I think I could excel. And just knowing that, I mean, getting involved in different activities here, not just sports, but student council and things like that, I felt diverse. You know, I felt like I was bringing more to the table, both in college and my professional life with the experiences that I've had, not just at McQuaid, but from McQuaid to college to professional sports and beyond. I mean, into business. It's a vicious circle, but it's a nice one. I mean, it's a familiar one to me, and it all started here. I mean, I came in here a boy and I left a man. I mean, that's how I felt.
I thought McQuaid had a very strong physical education program, and I felt like that they, with the curriculum that they had, there were a lot of things that I was quite interested in that gave me that initial interest to go into physical education. Truthfully, when I first entered college, I actually went in a whole different realm, in a different field. I went as an economics major. But quickly kind of turned around and looked back at some of the experiences that I had at McQuaid with Mr. Waller and Mr. Armstrong and some of the things they taught curriculum-wise in the phys ed program, and felt like that this is something that I would really kind of truthfully enjoy down the road.
As you know, a student athlete in college, you know, I think about what my preparation at McQuaid helped me achieve, and I think that transition from high school to college, both athletically and probably more important, from an academic point of view. I think, the rigorous academics, the ability to balance the athletics with the academics, I think that made that transition from high school to college that much easier. And then all of those lessons that you learn, and you can apply them in the real world, again, through your career, balancing family and your career life. I think those lessons kind of start very early in life.
I remember Mr. Bradley used to play a game called Ghost, and it was name a letter, and every successive person names another letter, trying not to create a word. And so so you're trying to stick the next person in line with trying to have to make a word. We'd play that for hours in the car. We didn't think we were learning at the time, but we really were. It was educational, and you take that dedication to being on a trip where you're going to run cross country, where your English teacher's challenging you to create or not create words. It just made a leap into the classroom because you then have that same individual for AP English or regular English, and you saw the dedication that the teacher and coach had to a subject matter, and you came to the classroom wanting to really excel and wanting to do to show that you were learning the lessons and that you could then contribute into the classroom.
Anyone who you meet who works with me will tell you that I'm very, very structured, and I think a lot of that has to do from my upbringing right here at McQuaid, because it's a structured environment for a particular reason. You go back to how we're prepared versus the city school districts or the suburbs, and it's not that those kids weren't prepared, but I think that we were more well prepared and our structure was a little bit better. And I've carried that on. My day is very, very regimented at Midtown, as most of it can be. There's always some things that get thrown at you from a curveball point of view. But a lot of that actually started right here. And it started kind of when I was a freshman, truthfully, from the minute I kind of walked in the door, in terms of your dress code, in terms of how they wanted you to dress, how they wanted you to carry yourself, how they wanted you just to walk from class to class. And those things are very, very important. And try to instill that things upon people I work with, especially, for example, my personal trainers. People are watching you all the time, and those are things that I think you want to carry on with yourself. And those things I've carried on with me in my current career right now.